story, Atieno, the generous queen. Long ago, in a small village near the shimmering shores of Lake Victoria, lived a girl named Atieno. She was born into a humble family, her mother Achieng raising her with love and care. Though they had little, Achieng always reminded Atieno of one important truth: kindness is the greatest gift you can give. From an early age, Atieno embraced her mother's wisdom. She was known throughout the village for her generous spirit. Whenever someone was in need, Atieno would be there. If a neighbor's crops failed, she would share what little food they had. If a child went hungry, Atieno gave her portion without hesitation. Her heart was as wide as the lake that surrounded their village. As she grew older, Atieno's generosity caught the attention of an elder named Nyawira. She was a wise woman, revered for her deep connection to the ancestors. One day, Nyawira invited Atieno to sit with her beneath the village's sacred tree. In her raspy, wise voice, Nyawira said, "Child, I see something in you. The ancestors speak of your future. Your destiny is to lead our people not with wealth or power, but with your heart." Atieno listened carefully, her young mind not fully understanding, but her heart stirred by the elder's words. Time passed, and Atieno's reputation grew. She became the light of the village, always giving, always serving. Her actions rippled through the community, inspiring others to follow her example. The village chief, Okoth, was growing old. He had served his people for many years, but the time had come for him to choose a successor. After much thought and consultation with Nyawira, Chief Okoth made his decision. It wasn't a wealthy landowner or a fierce warrior who would succeed him. It was Atieno, the girl who gave without expecting anything in return. When the news reached the village, the people rejoiced. They knew Atieno well, and they trusted her. On the day of her crowning, the village was filled with music and celebration. Atieno stood before them, no longer just the humble girl they had always known, but their new queen. She wore the traditional attire of her people, a symbol of her new role, but her heart remained the same. She had not changed. As queen, Atieno continued to live by the values she had held as a young girl. She ruled with compassion, ensuring that every person in her kingdom was cared for. She built schools and clinics, encouraged farming, and ensured that the wealth of the village was shared equally. No one went hungry, and no one was left behind. Years passed, and Atieno's reign became legendary. Her story spread far and wide, not just in her village, but to distant lands. Her name became synonymous with generosity, and her legacy was passed down from one generation to the next. Elders would gather children by the fire, under the stars, to tell them the story of Queen Atieno, the queen who rose from a humble background, who ruled not with a crown of gold, but with the kindness of her heart. And even after her time, her spirit lived on, in every act of generosity and every selfless deed. Her story, they would say, is a reminder to us all. True greatness lies not in what we take, but in what we give,